Hi, it's Dre Griggs with Obsidian Wisdom. Today we'll be answering the question, where should we start with retirement planning? To me, retirement planning comes in three phases, just like anything when it has to do with your financial goals, your life goals, and your dreams, things of that nature. For me, it starts with your knowledge, then it builds to your understanding, and then it ends with your wisdom. As the good book says, what good is it for a person to gain the whole world if they lose their soul? To me, that has to do with the concept of understanding where your values are, what is worth sacrificing, what you should be striving for, and what direction are you ultimately going. And it is something that you often want to keep in mind. That's why for me, when you're talking about where do I start with retirement planning, to me it really starts with your knowledge and your goals. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What does happiness look like to you? Where is it that you're starting at and where you're trying to get to? These are all questions that you'll want to gain. Then you want to move into just some of the practical natures. And what does that mean? It means that, well, I know that there are lots of people who are successfully retiring. What are some of them doing? You'll notice that there are some patterns of success. Some of the simple ones is, hey, you know what? If you want to retire and stop working, you have to have a certain amount of income coming in that you're not working for. If you have to work for money to come in, that means you can never stop working. So on a very simple level, retirement planning starts with understanding in what ways can I get my money to work for me to make more money so I don't have to work for it. And that is always where I believe we often have to refocus ourselves. Am I spending something that is going to generate money for me in the future, or am I spending something that maybe cost me my future? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend any of your money unless it is something that generates an income, but I am saying that you do want to be thoughtful of that. Is this putting me back a year? Is it putting me back 6 months? Is it putting me back 10 years by this purchase where I have to continue to work? If all of your purchases and all of your lifestyle is funded directly from you working for the money, then you're just extending how long you have to work. So for me, it always starts with knowledge. When you're talking about, hey, where do I get started with retirement planning? Start with the knowledge. Learn about ways that you can generate money without you having to work for it. Learn about what it is that you're trying to strive for and accomplish. What does happiness look like? Where are you going in your overall goals? And then you just want to make sure you build a lot of focus around your mindset. As you already know, they say that on average, every millionaire who wins the lottery, they end up being broke again on average within 3 years. They have not built any mindset for them to be able to maintain the wealth that they have. The life that we all have is designed around our understanding and our beliefs and our mindset currently. If we want a different life, we have to build a different mindset. So for me, all of that encompasses knowledge. That's where I would first start with. Then when you move into understanding, when it talks about, where are we going to go? What are we starting with our retirement planning? If you move into the understanding, that's really when you dig deep into, as they say, like, what is your why? What motivates you? Because you have to have enough discipline for you to be able to make a 5, 10, 20, 30-year plan where you're going to be allocating money and sacrificing a little bit of the short-term happiness, where there are things that you would purchase today that make you feel good for like that long. But then there are going to be things that if you were able to hold off, that is going to make you feel good significantly longer. Or maybe if you decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to save all my money, I'm going to put it aside, and it's going to be like this big purchase. I'm going to go on this amazing trip around the world. It's going to be great. And while it's true, what if that money that you saved up for that trip, what if you're able to put half of that towards your freedom? Where you're saying, you know what, this money is going to go towards money working to make more money. And if you do that, you'll then be able to spend a lot longer than a small vacation. Maybe you're able to live in some of these places where you're saying, well, okay, there is a benefit short term, but there's a much larger benefit long term. As Jim Rohn, he would often say, the cost of discipline is much smaller than the cost of regret, where you are looking back and you're like, if I made small changes, things would have been completely different. And these changes don't have to just be about finances. These changes could be where if I just called my parents a little more, then I would have felt much better. And if I could have called my brothers and my sisters a little bit more, I would have felt much better. If I would have spent more time with my kids, or maybe if I would have there's something that you may be thinking, like, if I could do it over again, I would have done things a little differently. I find that the solution to getting past that is taking the time to be very specific and detailed and intentional with your time, where you write out, this is what happiness looks like. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. This is why I'm trying to accomplish it. And then you're able to say, is this helping me accomplish my goal? And then you can say, you know what, it's not. I'm going to not indulge in it because it's not helping me. And it is tough because on the one end, like, so for example, I've been working out. So my kids, they did a Spartan run. Well, two of my kids did, and they were phenomenal. And I was just like missing that. And I was like, man, I wish I was in shape so I could run with them. And then I started training when I got back because it was a why that was much stronger than it had been before, where I really wanted to be able to run the next Spartan race with my kids. And so I have been able to consistently work out week after week after week after week because it has a lot more to do than just what the scale says. Sometimes the scale doesn't say what I want it to say, but that doesn't discourage me because I'm not doing it to just lose weight. Well, that would be a nice bonus. I'm doing it so I can run with my kids. And that motivation lasts a lot longer, and it's a lot more driving than any other reason I've come up with in a while. And so it's been helping me. The same would be true for you. What is it that you really are trying to accomplish? While on the one end we think, well, I know my life would be a lot less stressful if I had more money. Yeah, that may be true, but it may not be. You may have different types of stress. But at the same time, what is it that you want to spend the money for? You don't just want to collect the money. You want to make certain purchases. Start putting numbers on your purchases. Exactly how much would it cost? Instead of us just saying, I want to be a millionaire, it's going to feel great, there's a status and it feels really good. What if you listed out everything you wanted to purchase and you found out it only would cost you $300,000? What if it only cost you $500,000? Where you're able to get to the goal much quicker than just trying to get this large amount because you don't want to have to worry about money. What if you could not worry about money and get there much quicker and sooner? These 3 steps are what I call the Wisdometric Framework. It's what I use with my clients. If you're very interested in learning more about it, I invite you to check out my free retirement planning that works video training at obsidianwisdom.com/training. In it, I give you the entire Wisdometric Framework that I use with my clients to help them eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. And then the last aspect we're going to talk about is wisdom. So when you bring wisdom, it just comes with this understanding that, you know what, I have the knowledge, I understand the mindset that I need to have, I understand some of the patterns that others have accomplished, and then it has the understanding where I know like what it is that I'm going for, why I'm motivated to do this, what does success look like. And then when you go into wisdom, then you really want to say, okay, there is human behavior as a part of this, and we get scared and we want to leave some of our long-term investments when short-term problems happen. But if you're able to optimize yourself with systems where you're removing a lot of the human behavior that's going to throw you off, because a lot of times when things are struggling, when there's volatility in the market, yeah, you may be able to say, well, I can look at the way Amazon or Facebook or Google or Apple is doing right now, and these were great investments, and if I had invested in them when they first started, I would have been phenomenal right now. But if you look at the way they trended, would you have been able to stay in that investment when things started getting ugly? And so you want to optimize yourself with the systems. This is just saying, you know what, I'm going to allocate $50 a check, $100 a check, $1,000 a check. That's going to go towards my freedom fund, my investments, my retirement fund. And then it is going to be allocated in certain sectors in a certain percentage, and that is that. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to allow that to happen. If you are someone who likes reading about stocks and you want to make the purchases of the stocks, that is great too. And then you would say, you know what, these are the companies that I like, these are the ones I've been reading about, and whether it's going up or down, I know that these are really great companies, and I'm going to tell myself I'm buying them on sale. I'm not buying a losing stock, I'm buying them on sale. Same when it comes to real estate or any business that you want to continue investing in. You're just buying them on sale. You're reinvesting in something that is going to give you a return at a future date. And when you allow that to be done automated, then you don't have the problem of saying, okay, I just can't put money in this investment. I feel like I'm wasting my money. When you allow the investment to happen automatically, where you don't think about it and it just goes, and then you don't look all the time. Obviously, you got to look sometimes to see how you're doing, but you don't look all the time where it freaks you out. And then you'll be able to say, okay, things are going really well for me. And then the other aspect of wisdom is just this idea that I can multiply my money. So if knowledge shows you how to make money, understanding shows you how to keep money, and then wisdom shows you how to multiply your money, then when you're talking about multiplying your money, let me see what other millionaires, other successful people that have hit the numbers that I want to hit, exactly what they're doing. There are lots of examples on whether you want to focus on real estate, or whether you want to focus on growing a certain type of business, or whether you want to focus on the stock market. There are lots of examples of very successful plans and approaches that many people have tried, and it's been proven to work over and over again. And if you're able to take other people's wisdom, the way I see it, you get wisdom two ways. One is your mistakes. The second is other people's mistakes. I encourage you to get your wisdom through other people's mistakes, so that way you can minimize the pain that you feel along the way. When you do this, I am very confident that you will be able to put yourself an amazing retirement plan together. Until next time, Wisdomites, remember, wisdom is asking the right questions to allow yourself to get the right answers. Keep asking those questions and you will keep getting those answers. Continue blessings.